and it looked more like a small lights, a cluster of small lights, instead of one big one.
Gerry Harris is a mechanic who owns a car repair shop just off the runway at Bentwaters Field, about 5 miles from Woodbridge.
I suppose it must have been there, as far as I know, for 3/4 of an hour. Must be something like that. And all of a sudden, I blinked and it was gone.
They weren't sort of nice, steady, they were moving about. So I undone the front door of the house and walked out into the yard here where I am now, and I stood watching them, you see, and it's all quiet, and I listened. I couldn't hear any sounds at all. I stood watching them, and they were going up, moving about this way and that way, and they were going up and they were coming down, and I sort of watched them for 3/4 of an hour, and all of a sudden they disappeared. But just before they disappeared, there was a lot of activity on the base. I could hear vehicles running around, I could see the flashing lights of vehicles moving about, and I could hear people shouting. It was quiet, and the wind must have been in this direction. I could hear their voices, and they were calling to each other, and then I could hear the roaring of our vehicles, and which is that time of night, it was unusual. I walked across the yard, and I could see the lights over the trees over there. You go up in the sky and come back down again and go crossways, very, very, very fast. And they would sort of come to a standstill and hover, and then move off again. Eventually 2 of them sort of went away into the distance. The other one stayed there. It went up in the air and hovered, then came down and went straight down into the trees. I thought it had crashed. Everything went quiet, nothing there. So I thought, well, it's finished. Went to turn to go away, and it came up after the trees and disappeared, getting smaller, 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 down the sight. And never saw it again. It was Christmas time. Wife and I had been out. It was her birthday. We came home midnight just after, and I said to her, look at those lights. The lights went backwards and forwards and up and down and didn't come up in the sky, and so 2 of them eventually disappeared over the horizon. Oh, and I heard vehicles and people talking over on the base, which at that time of day was unheard of, really. I hadn't heard it before.